So, I am a Game of Thrones fan, and I feel like I've been missing out on the House of the Dragon, or some people say the House of Dragons, when it's really called House of the Dragon. I need to start checking it out. But one thing about the Game of Thrones that always kind of threw me was the people who had to get sent to the wall, where they essentially were up in this tall tower, having to monitor all day, all night, to make sure what they call the White Walkers did not invade the Seven Kingdoms. The White Walkers were these people who have been turned, and they're like, they can survive in these extreme temperatures. They were living dead, etc., etc. And it made me think, and here's my random thought for the day. There was actually something like that, especially in the Roman period, where they would have centurions stationed at towers, sitting very high. They can look out over the countryside, and if an enemy was approaching, they can see it early and be able to warn everyone so that they can prepare for battle and protect the fortress or citadel. And if they were not on their posts, that enemy could get close enough so by the time that people actually realized that they were about to be overwhelmed, it'd be too late. It'd be overrun. Here's where it hit me in thinking about my life. There's an old phrase, and we probably have heard it, and you most likely have heard it if you're in the South. It says, watch and pray. So those centurions are in that tower. They were called watchmen. And when they overlooked over the city to protect the borders, to make sure things were protected, safe, and then alert when they saw danger coming, that was their role. And in my own life, I realized there are times in my life where I was not looking out to see danger approaching. And if you think about things right now, there's stuff that you may have experienced in life, stuff that you may have encountered, the areas where you may have struggled with certain issues, those enemies were probably seen earlier on in your life. Had we been looking? Have we been paying attention to what was going on in our spirit, what was going on in our soul? Have we been paying attention to what was going on in our body? We could have saw that earlier and prepared a defense against those things. So I think about that old phrase, Southern phrase. Well, it's not a Southern phrase. It's a phrase from ancient text, but it's said a lot in the South. Watch and pray. It's thinking about how that I, my own self, have to be spiritually grounded enough to where I can ascend to a level that I can overlook my life and see into those areas where the borders of my heart are being invaded. Where I can pay attention and say, oh man, I can see that coming here. Let me address that issue. I can see that. Let me take care of that. And here's the prayer part coming in there. Prayer is not some passive act. It's not something we just do and hope for the best and wish for the best. Prayer is much like what a drone is to war. Let me say it again. Prayer is much like what a drone is to war. That drone is fixed onto a target. It's sent on a mission, and it strikes and destroys totally.